right. So let's begin. Let's actually begin in easy pose. Nice, comfortable seat. Let's take your time getting there, finding your version that feels best. Take a moment to allow yourself to get out those little wiggles, to settle in. Let's drop the palms down onto the lap. Let's take a moment to allow your body to physically settle in. Allow your mind to mentally settle in, allowing your spirit to settle in. Inviting all of your awareness to be here in this present moment now. Notice the weight of your feet on the floor, where it feels heavier, where it feels lighter. Notice where your body is in space in relation to other objects or other beings. The kitties are walking around. And then draw the awareness into the breath. Notice just how it feels first. Does it feel fast or slow? Deep or shallow? Where do you notice it most clearly? Maybe it's in the nose, in the throat, in the belly, or the chest, or the upper back. And as you become more aware of that breath, you can begin to invite it to grow deeper. Nice long breath in through the nose. Nice long breath out through the nose. And as it gently changes, notice how your awareness of it changes, how your experience of it changes. Maybe the physical point changes of where it's most obvious. Maybe it moves from the nose to the chest, for example. And before we begin really moving, I want to practice a type of breathing called box breathing, which you may or may not have done before. But it's a nice calming breath that can help when we're feeling anxious or overwhelmed, or just need a moment of peace. And it goes like this. We'll breathe in for 4 seconds, hold to the top for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and hold at the bottom for 4 seconds. So I'll count, but let's begin first to empty the air out of the lungs totally. And then on your next inhale, breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, holding at the top, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold at the bottom, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Allow your breath just to flow in and out naturally now. Think back to that breath, that box breath that we just completed, and notice how it felt. Was it easy to hold? Was it difficult? Did it feel like you wanted to breathe in longer or out longer, or breathe in shorter, or breathe out shorter? And now that you've allowed your breath to return back to that natural rhythm of in and out, you feel more aware of it, more connected. Maybe you feel less aware and less connected. There's no right or wrong. It's just all a game of noticing, tuning in. And as we move throughout our practice today, your breath is that reminder, that connection back to the physical body. Whenever we purposely tune back into it, it's a reminder of like, oh yeah, right here on my yoga mat, and nowhere else. My job can wait. My responsibilities can wait. My to-do list can wait. Even thoughts or emotions that are not helpful can wait. I'm choosing to be here present with my body. The next inhale, you can gently blink open the eyes. Drop the left hand down to the mat. Right arm can sweep up and over as it stretches across to the opposite side of the room. Big stretch to the right side body. Inhale, move back up through center, switch sides. Exhale, left arm sweeps up and over. And we're going to continue with this breathing on your own and stretching on your own, alternating between sides. Inhaling up through center, exhaling as you stretch up and over. And just allow yourself to really flow in the movement along with your rhythm of breath. Maybe it's faster than me, maybe it's slower than me. Starting this beautiful yogic practice of connecting breath with movement. It's really cool because not only does it help us practice coordination, which is just fun in itself, but it also helps our body and brain just feel a little more connected, more in tune, more aligned, more present. Your next inhale, after you've done an even number, so no rush, take your time, meet me back in that centered position. Hands can come back onto the knees. We're going to move just for some nice like neck and spinal articulation. So on your next exhale, gently drop the right ear down toward the right shoulder. Deep stretch through the left side of the neck. Still focusing on the breath here. Slowly in, slowly out. If you want to deepen this stretch a little bit, you can take the left fingers and point them down toward the floor at 45 degrees. Palm facing down. If you want to take a step and deepen even further, right hand can come up and rest on the head just above the ear. And not pulling or forcing anything, just allowing that arm to add a little bit of weight to deepen that stretch. So breathing in slowly and out slowly. Your next exhale, keep everything in the same position, but begin to turn your gaze down toward the right hip. Again, hand can stay kind of on top of the head here, maybe moves to the center back of the head. As you look down, the stretch sort of radiates and stretches down into that left scapula, the shoulder blade, the upper back. Take one more big inhale. As you exhale, gently release the hands to the lap, turn the head back to center. And it's going to turn and look over the left shoulder, and then turn and look over the right shoulder. And this very gently can turn the head side to side. Sometimes we don't turn our head that much in a day. So it can kind of feel nice just to see just how far your neck can turn. After you've done an even number of turns, release back to center. And we're going to do this the other side. So on your next exhale, the left ear comes down toward the left shoulder. Again, taking the time, just like we did on the first side, for it to gently settle, gently deepen the stretch. Feeling it slowly soften the muscles on the right side of the neck. Maybe into the shoulder a bit. If you'd like that same option to deepen, now is the time to extend the right fingers down toward the earth at roughly 45 degrees, palm facing down toward the floor. Still breathing steadily. Nice long breath in. Nice long breath out. Again, just like on the first side, another option to deepen. Left hand comes up and rests on top of the head, just above the ear. Again, not pulling or pushing, and just allowing that little bit of weight to deepen the stretch. Still breathing in nice and steady and out. Remembering that that breath is our anchor, our connection back to the body, back to the present moment. Your next exhale, arms stay where they are. Begin to turn the gaze down toward the left hip. Maybe that left hand comes back onto the center back of the skull instead of the side. And the stretch moves down through the right shoulder blade and upper back, as well as along the back of the neck still. Slow and steady breathing as you sink into the stretch. Notice where you might be holding tension still that's not necessary. Maybe you can release that a little further. Take one more big inhale and gently release back into center. Hands come to the lap, and we're going to do the same head turns. This time starting to the right, turn to look over the right shoulder, and then turn the head to look over the left shoulder. Again, moving at your own pace, not flailing around like crazy, but just allowing nice gentle movement, slowly waking up through those tiny little vertebrae at the top of our spine that have so much ability to move, so much articulation. When you've done an even number on both sides, gently return back to center. And we're going to do some nice rolls. Allow your right ear to come down toward the right shoulder. And then gently draw the chin down toward the chest. And then left ear comes up over the left shoulder. Exhale, chin comes back down toward the chest. Inhale, right ear to right shoulder. And just continue with your own breath here, gently rolling side to side. Noticing any points that maybe are a little sticky or tight and taking extra time there. And allowing your breath to guide your movement. Go ahead and finish up. So you've done an even number on both sides, and gently release the head back to center. And let's shift the weight forward, sliding into our tabletop pose. So wrists are aligning under the shoulders here, knees aligning under the hips. Take a moment to shift the weight side to side, forward and back. Find that centered, balanced position. And then, of course, doing our favorite spinal articulation, cat and cow pose. So as you inhale, allow the belly to drop down, head and tail rise. Feel that expansion across the front of the body. And then as you exhale, begin to round through the spine, chin tucks in, tailbone curls under, big stretch and opening through the back side of the body. Just like we've been doing, continue to flow with your own breath. Inhaling, open to cow. Exhaling, close to cat. Feeling free to explore any other version of this, maybe bending side to side or drawing circles with the head and hips. And because this movement is so familiar, inviting yourself to view it with the new student's mind. Maybe you find something new about this movement that you hadn't noticed before. Or maybe just something new that you've discovered today or that you've noticed for the first time today. Challenging yourself to be curious helps you just feel more connected and more present instead of just moving through the motions mindlessly. So one more full breath here. Finish up wherever you're at. And then on your next inhale, lean back in a neutral spine. On your next inhale, we're actually going to begin to invite in some more muscle activation, some more coordination. So take a big step back with that left toes, stretching back for the back of the mat, and right arm stretches forward, coming to our spinal balance pose. And keep the toes down or lift that back leg. Just inviting the muscles to further engage. Flex the toes in toward the knee. Big breath in. See if you can stretch that hand and foot away from each other into an even longer line. And as you exhale, draw the elbow and knee to meet under the body, round through the spine. Inhale, nice and long. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl. Inhale, one more stretch. Exhale, hand and knee come down to the earth. Give your knees, your hips, and your shoulders a little wiggle here. And then tuck the toes under and slowly walk the hands back toward the body. So coming into our deep foot stretch or broken toe pose, sometimes it's called. The closer the hands are into the body, the deeper that stretch. Maybe you sit all the way up onto your toes, checking in, staying present with how it feels. If it feels too intense, backing out, staying connected with the breath as you check in with that stretch, seeing what needs releasing. Your next exhale, begin to gently release back forward. Untuck the toes, tops of the feet come back down to the earth. And we're coming to our spinal balance on the opposite side. So this time, right toes step back, left arm stretches forward. Again, keep the toes down if you'd like. And as you do that curl, you can just drag the toes along the floor. Or if you want that extra challenge, lift the right leg. Flex the toes in toward the knee. Big breath in, stretch hand and foot away from each other. Exhale, curl round through the spine, elbow and knee come to meet under the body. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl. Inhale, stretch long. Exhale, hand and knee come down to the earth. Tuck under the toes and sit back again into that deep foot stretch, broken toe stretch, whatever you like to call it. Focusing on the sensations in each of the toes. Check in with the pinky toes, the fourth toe. I just realized I don't know what the names of the toes are. the middle toes, the first toe, and the big toe, of course. Exhale, gently release back forward, walk the hands back into tabletop, release the feet. And actually keep the toes tucked under because we're gonna exhale, send the hips up and back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And then take a moment there to breathe and stretch it out. Bending one knee as you press the opposite heel down into the earth. And then switching sides, just gently awakening the backs of the legs, the heels, the ankles, the hips. Remembering to breathe as you do so. Staying connected with that nice long breath in, nice long breath out. And finally, make your way into stillness. Settle into down dog. Check in with your alignment here. Hands are still at shoulder width. Fingers spread wide, thumbs tucked in slightly. That's our safe Hasta Bandha hand position. Keeping our wrists safe, fingers activated as they press through the fingertips and the middle knuckles. Check in with the arms. Inner elbows or elbow pits are pressing forward to the top of the mat. That nice little rotation in the shoulders. Shoulder blades sliding together and down the spine. Gaze is back toward the feet or the back wall. Spine nice and long. If you notice any rounding or tightness in the low back especially, give a little bend into the knees. More important that we keep the spine nice and long in this pose than the legs straight. And then eventually working your way to press the heels down toward the earth. Your next inhale, rise onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward, and take baby steps until you reach the top of the mat, Uttanasana forward fold. Heel toe the feet nice and wide, a little wider than hip distance. Give the knees a nice generous bend. You can grasp opposite elbows as you release forward and ragdoll. Give yourself a nice rock side to side here. Really allowing gravity and the weight of our body to gently stretch and release the spine. Notice if you're holding tension in the head or jaw, can give that head a little nod yes or shake no in an effort to release that. Hands come down to the earth, heel to the feet back into center, either hip width or big toes touching in the center line. Inhale, extend the spine long as you lift up halfway, crown of the head pointing forward, tailbone pointing back, hands might slide up the shins. Exhale, release, forward fold. Every time we come to Uttanasana today, which will be often, allow yourself to bend the knees as much as you want and need to comfortably release, folding that upper body over the lower body. It's called a forward fold, not a forward bend or a forward stretch, but a forward fold because we're truly folding our bodies in half. And so just kind of checking that you're allowing your fold to happen by bending the knees as much as you need instead of forcing a curve into the low back. On your next inhale, press through the feet as you bend the knees, stand up tall, arms stretch up overhead, drawing the body into one long line, upward salute pose. Exhale, hands come down to the heart. Let your eyes come closed here. Feel the weight shift in your feet from side to side, forward and back, that nice centered position. And then allow the hands to drop into the body. Maybe it feels good to bring both hands pressing into the chest over the heart space. Maybe it feels good to lower them over the womb space. Maybe one over each. And just allow yourself a moment here to breathe. Allowing yourself the space to check in, to connect, to notice how you're feeling, both in the physical body. How is your body awakening or changing compared to when we started? How has the breath changed? How are any thoughts that are popping up or any emotions? And using this awareness, using this connection Set an intention for the remainder of our practice. What is it that you want to get out of this practice? Why does it feel important to you? Why did you show up today? Why is it worth your time? When you have that clear in your head, know that you can revisit that intention, revisit that purpose anytime throughout the rest of our practice. When you're ready, gently blink open the eyes. Inhale, arms sweep up to the sky, upward salute. Exhale, release all the way down forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms all the way back up to the sky, upward salute. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Take a moment to breathe all the way in, all the way out. Inhale, arms sweep high. Exhale, release, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Exhale, release, forward fold. Plant the hands. This time, step the right foot back to the back of the mat. Release a knee and foot to the earth. Inhale, belly and chest drop forward as the hips drop low. And then as you exhale, sit back toward the right heel, left leg straightens, draw the toes in toward the knee for half split, stretching the back of the left leg. Inhale, draw forward, belly and chest pull forward. Exhale, sit back and stretch the back of the leg. Inhale, draw forward. This time, press through that left foot strongly down to the earth, arms and torso lift as the hips sink a little bit lower onto Yasana low lunge. Take a moment here to settle in. Maybe adjust the width of your stance, left foot inching out to the left. Check in with the low back. Do you have any pinching? Do you have any tightness? Backing out of that lunge is necessary. Check in with the shoulders. Shoulder blades are drawing together down the spine, creating that openness across the chest. Arms are strong and extended. Big inhale. As you exhale, twist the chest out to the left, arms open out to a T. Nice little twist through the abdomen, strengthening the muscles along the spine. You can even invite your gaze to look straight out to the left or to look back to the left hand. Backing out of that lunge will make it a little bit easier to twist. Deeper into the lunge will make it a little more challenging to twist. One more inhale. Sweep back into center, both arms stretch high. Option to draw the palms to hold simply straight up, or you can draw the palms to high prayer, dropping the gaze up toward the sky for a little back bend. Exhale, hands come down to frame that forward foot. And keep the right knee on the earth. Step the left knee back for kneeling plank. So shoulders are aligned over the hands here, actively pressing against the earth. Spine is nice and long. Low belly draws in like you're squeezing a marshmallow in your belly button, which I don't know why you'd have a marshmallow in your belly button, but you never know. And one more exhale, slowly release all the way down to the earth, allowing your body to slowly melt into the floor. Tops of the feet pressing down, palms alongside the chest. On your next inhale, gently peel the gaze up and forward, and then the chest follows. Again, shoulder blades are pulling together and down the spine, creating more opening across the shoulders. Exhale, release to the earth. Allow your chin or forehead to come down. You can give your hips a little rock side to side. Maybe even your head a little rock side to side. Settle back into center. Your next inhale, press through the tops of the feet again, palms alongside the chest. Inhale, head peels up and forward. This time, challenge yourself and lift the hands an inch or two. Just floating there along the floor. And see if your core can engage even more strongly. Stronger? Grammar. Lift a little bit more. Exhale, gently release. This time, tuck under the toes. Your next inhale, rise up through tabletop pose. And then exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Take a moment there to walk it out. Sitting bones shining up toward the sky. Arms nice and long, actively pressing through the fingertips, through the middle knuckles of the hands. Your next inhale, look forward. Take as many steps as you need to step that right foot forward between the hands, left knee and foot drop down to the earth. Inhale, belly and chest drop forward. Deep into our lunge stretch. Exhale, straighten the right leg as you sit back, flex those toes in to stretch the back of the right leg. Half splits. Inhale, draw forward, belly and chest pull forward. Exhale, sit back. This time as you inhale and draw forward, press into that right foot, strongly pressing down into the earth, arms and torso lift as the hips drop low onto Yasana. Again, take a moment, just like we did on the first side, to check in with your positioning, check in with your stance. Does it feel good? Does it need adjustment? Maybe widening that stance by inching the right foot out to the right. Checking in that the shoulder blades are pulling together, shoulders are nice and open, chest is open, arms are strong. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, chest twist out to the right, arms open out to the T. Again, gaze can be straight out to the right, or maybe it twists all the way back to that right hand, inviting a little bit of the neck articulation that we worked with at the beginning of practice to come into play. Again, backing out of the lunge, so rising up higher will make the twist a little more easeful, and lowering down will make the twist a little more sticky, challenging. Staying present with the breath wherever you're at. Your next inhale, release back to center, arms stretch up high, option to stay nice and steady, or invite in that little back bend by drawing the hands to high prayer. Open the belly and chest, gaze comes toward the sky. Exhale, hands come down to frame that forward foot, tuck under the back toes. And this time, we're just gonna step back into plank pose. You can stay on your knees like we did the first time, or come up onto the toes if you want a little more intensity. Regardless of where the feet are, the hands are actively pressing against the earth. Feel the little stretch between the shoulder blades. Big breath in here. As you exhale, slowly lower knees, then chest, then chin. Hold that inchworm pose for just a moment. Your bum sort of popped up into the air, and then exhale, slowly release, melt into the floor. And your next inhale, peel the chest up and forward again toward cobra pose, rising a little higher this time, adding in the hands, pressing through those palms, elbows come to roughly 90 degrees. Now really engaging with that big stretch at the front of the body. Shoulder blades still pulling together and down the spine. Nice space between the shoulders and ears. Beautiful. Exhale, gently release down to the earth. Allow your forehead or your chin to come down, whatever feels better for you. And just a moment of rest can allow the hips to shift side to side, maybe the forehead or chin to shift side to side. One big breath in, big breath out. Your next inhale, tuck under the toes, rise up through tabletop or plank. Exhale, up and back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take a moment there to walk it out. Still connecting with the breath as you settle into this now becoming more and more familiar pose. We've come here a few times, besides that you already know it. Your next inhale, rise, or excuse me, on the next inhale, press to that left foot down into the earth, press into both hands, and the right leg lifts. So we're just coming into three-legged dog. Take a moment there. Like, doesn't have to be too high at first. Just give that ankle a nice twist in one direction. And then the other direction. And then on your next inhale, see if you can stretch that foot up a little higher toward the sky. Notice that stretch, especially in the back of the standing leg, in the inner thighs, maybe. Exhale, look forward, step that foot through between the hands. Take your time to get there. We're in no rush. All 10 toes remain pointing forward. Back heel is lifted in our crescent lunge legs. And then on your next inhale, press firmly through those feet, arms and torso lift for crescent lunge. And check in with your alignment here, just like we did in Anjaneyasana. We want to check in that we're lining ourselves up in a way that feels best. So maybe that means widening your stance, checking in that the hips are square to the top of the mat, shoulders are aligned over the hips, arms are strong and tall. The luteal phase is this perfect time for analyzing, for adjusting. Instead of rushing through a bunch of exciting poses during the follicular phase, this is the phase to slow down, to get really critical in a good sense, not critical in a bad sense, but curious and connected, I like to think of it. Your next exhale, maybe you sink a little deeper into that front knee as you continue to press all the way through the ball of that back foot. Both legs are strongly engaged here. One more inhale. As you exhale, twist the chest open to the right, arms open to a T. It's the same as we did in our lowered position. Now just doing standing, noticing if it's different, how it feels different, how it feels the same. Gaze is straight out to the right or back to that right hand, whatever feels better for you. Hips are square, really allowing this twist in the spine, big stretch in the right glute as well. Your next inhale, arms and torso release back to center and stay there in center or invite that little back bend in. Hands come to high prayer. Open the belly and chest. Exhale, hands come down to frame that forward foot. Left hand inside the right foot. Inhale, right arm stretches up open to the sky. Parvrita Chandrasana. Chandrasana. Ooh, baby. Tricky language. Revolved crescent lunge, in other words. Nice massage for our digestive organs. Beautiful all the time, and especially in the luteal phase, when we can tend to be constipated or slower in digestion because progesterone slows down the digestive system. One more inhale. Exhale, hand comes down to frame that forward foot. Let's step back to plank of your choice. Big breath in here, either on the toes or the knees, focusing on a nice long spine, activated upper body. One more inhale. Exhale, lower down, knees, chest, and chin. If you want to spice it up, you can come through chaturanga as well. Inhale, cobra pose. Again, if you want to spice it up, coming through upward facing dog. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Take a moment to breathe. Walk it out. Stretch the backs of the legs. Reconnect with that nice long breath in. Nice long breath out. Press firmly through both hands and through the right foot this time. And your next inhale, left leg rises. Doesn't have to be too high at first. Give your ankle a nice twist around in one direction. And then around the other direction. And your next inhale, stretch that foot up higher toward the sky. Really tune in when you change that position. You deepen that stretch. Where do you feel it? You feel it in the back of that standing leg. Maybe you feel it in the glutes. You feel it in the inner thighs. As you exhale, look forward, step that left foot forward between the hands. Take your time. Setting yourself up for crescent lunge. So left, all 10 toes pointing forward. Back heel is lifted. And your feet feel strong, firmly planted in the earth. Inhale, press through those feet. arms and torso lift. And then you settle in, again, taking your time, connecting with that luteal brilliance, our natural gift during the luteal phase of inner connection, of reading how we are, of being brutally honest about how we are, and adjusting this pose to help meet that. Maybe it means making the pose more intense, being honest that we could take more effort. Maybe it means making the pose more gentle, just being honest that we need more of a rest. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, twist the chest open to the left, arms open out to a T, coming to that same twist we did lower down, and this time risen up. Chest is turning out to the left, gaze can be straight to the left or back to that left hand. Make sure you're honoring whatever the neck needs, not overextending. Continue to breathe. With each inhale, maybe you feel your spine gently lengthen. Exhale, you use that length to deepen the twist. Take one more big inhale here. Gently release back to center. You can stay right there in center or option for a little back bend. Hands come to high prayer. Open the belly and chest. Exhale, hands come down to frame that forward foot. Right hand inside the left foot. Inhale, left arm blossoms open toward the sky. Parvarita Asha Chandrasana, revolved crescent lunge. Nice massage to our digestive organs. Increase blood flow to all of our organs in especially the lower part of our trunk, the lower part of our torso. So of course that includes digestive organs. It also includes our reproductive organs. Sending blood to the womb, to the fallopian tubes, to the ovaries, to the cervix, to the vagina. Our bodies are incredible. One more inhale. Exhale, left hand comes down onto the mat. This time, step back, plank of your choice. Big breath in at the top. Exhale, let's flow through the vinyasa. Lower down, knees, chest, and chin, or make it spicy, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Take a moment to walk it out. Catch your breath. Settle in to down dog. Your next inhale, rise onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward, and step or hop if you'd like, the top of your mat. Release, forward fold. Heel toe the feet nice and wide. Grasp opposite elbows, bend the knees. Coming into ragdoll again, just like we did in the beginning. Although this time our body is a little more warm, maybe a little sweaty. Muscles are a little more tired or engaged. Just checking in how it feels the same, how it feels different. Remembering to give the head a little nod yes or shake no to further release the shoulders, the neck, the jaw. Release the hands down to the earth, heel to the feet into center. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, release, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, press into the feet, arms sweep up to the sky, upward salute. Exhale, hands come down to the heart. Take a moment here to breathe. Close the eyes, draw the hands into the body, maybe to the womb or to the heart or both. Feel the weight come centered into the feet. So shifting side to side, forward and back until you find that centered position. And allowing the breath to flow here. And again, just taking this moment to connect back to yourself and connect back with that intention that you set earlier on in our. How is it that you wanted to experience this practice? How did you want to get out of it? What is important for you? Taking this moment to reconnect with that if it feels good, you still feel like that intention resonates with you. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. You're allowing yourself to release it. Your next inhale, gently blink open the eyes. Arms sweep up to the sky, upward salute. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, step back to plank pose, and then up and back, downward facing dog. Your next inhale, stretch that right leg up high. Exhale, sliding into half pigeon. So bend the right knee as you shift forward. Right knee comes behind the right wrist. Allow the shin to fall down onto the earth. Maybe the left toes slide an inch or two back as you lower the pelvis down toward the floor. Take a moment here to shift the hips side to side. Find that centered position where they're even to the top of the mat, even with one another. Inhale, nice and long through the spine. And as you exhale, begin to shift your way slowly forward, maybe walking the hands forward, maybe lowering to the elbows, maybe even allowing the head to come down onto the arms or the floor. With each exhale, allowing yourself to gently settle it. The luteal phase is the ideal time of our cycle for letting things go, for releasing things, for ending things. Our brain chemistry naturally lends itself to that ability, to that skill. Partly because we're maybe a little more sensitive during this time, a little more honest with ourselves about what is working, what isn't working, and things as small as little habits we're having to things as large as our career choice or our relationships or our dreams and goals. And so in this phase, it can be really powerful to connect with that inner knowing, connecting with that deeper awareness of what is truly meant for me. What do I really, really want at the end of the day? And using our strength of will of this phase to let things go that no longer align with that. Your next inhale, gently begin moving by lifting the head first, pressing into the palms as you rise back up to an upright position. Come into a quadricep stretch and bend that left knee, drawing the foot in toward the body. The tighter the foot is, the deeper the stretch, the further away, the less intense. You can even reach that left arm back to wrap around the foot to help guide the deepness of that stretch. You want to invite the chest and shoulder in, walk the hand into the inner arch, and allow the chest to gently open out to the left. Gaze can come out to the left or even back to the back foot. Staying, again, present with the breath here. If you notice the stretch is too intense, you can back out. And just staying really present with your body, your sensations. Not worried about what it looks like or if you reached a certain pose. One more breath in. Exhale, gently release that foot to the floor. Hands come back forward, tuck under those back toes, press through the palms and left foot to slowly make your way back up to downward facing dog. Take your time to get there. And when you do arrive, feel free to bend the knees a little bit before settling into down dog. Notice the difference in your sides. Does one leg feel different than the other before you settle in? Your next inhale, left leg stretches up toward the sky. Exhale, bend that left knee as you shift forward. Left knee comes behind the left wrist. Shin comes down onto the mat. Maybe you step the right toes back a few inches. Again, preparing for half pigeons, making sure the hips are nice and square. Maybe that means shifting a little, finding that nice position right in the middle. Big breath in, nice long spine. And as you exhale, begin to walk your way forward, gently lowering yourself down. Maybe even allowing your head to come down onto the hands or arms or earth. As you settle down and forward. And thinking of the things that you like to release during this phase or during the cycle or during the season of life. It's not necessarily a one and done, right? It can be difficult. It can be easy to release some things, maybe a bad habit that's been bothering you. Or it can be really difficult to release the bigger things like career choice or relationship or even some habits. And so when thinking of using our natural strengths during this phase to assist and aid in that releasing process, it's not a one and done, it's a process. And so maybe this cycle, you release something 10%, releasing the connection to it or the belief. Maybe instead of fully, what's the word I'm looking for? Entertaining that belief, it's opening that belief up to a little criticism or curiosity or questioning. Slowly allowing the thing to loosen itself from you or to loosen yourself from the thing that you'd like to release. And just as we can release anything that doesn't align with us in life, this practice of yoga is a beautiful mirror for that in releasing the physical body, releasing tension, especially in a pose like this in half pigeon, reminding that we can release our weight into the floor, release unnecessary tension, and knowing that just because we released that muscle between our eyebrows once, that it might not come back, and we can revisit and re-release as many times as we need. Your next inhale, gently begin moving by lifting first head and then pressing into the palms, walking your way back up to upright. Coming to that same quad stretch as we did. So bending the right leg this time. Option to reach the right hand back closer the foot is, the more intense, the further away, the less intense. You'll find that Goldilocks position that feels good. If you want to invite the chest and shoulder in, walk the hand to the inner arch. Gaze can come to the right or to the back toes. Still remaining slow and steady with the breath as you stretch to make sure you're stretching in the best way for you. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, gently release that foot to the earth, release back forward, and sit back over that left glute and use your hand to draw the right leg all the way up and around. Coming forward, toes or feet are on the floor, knees are pointing up towards the sky. And let's slowly, one vertebrae at a time, release down to the back. And before we fully come into our final resting pose, do a little more activation here. Remembering to connect, especially in this time of releasing and analyzing and critiquing in a loving way our lives and our choices and our habits, all of these things, remembering to connect with that inner power. So I'm doing a little bit of activation in the sacral and solar plexus chakras here. Feet are close into the hips. Reach your hands down and see if you can scratch the backs of the heels, and then allow the palms to come down, press into the earth alongside the hips. Feet are firmly planted into the earth, shoulders are nice and comfortable on the floor. And as you inhale, press into the hands and feet, lift the hips up to bridge pose. Gently activating, the legs are strong, the core is lifted and is, even though floating in air, our true support in this pose. And your next inhale, maybe you press through the feet a little stronger, even walking one shoulder further under and then the other, opening through the chest. Hips are lifted up toward the sky, knees shifting forward in space. Your next exhale, slowly, one vertebrae at a time, gently lower the torso back down to the earth. And open the arms out to a T or to cactus arms, and allow the knees to fall down to one side, gaze comes opposite. Inhale up through center and switch sides, windshield wipering the legs here with your own breath. Back and forth, inviting that nice little release into the spine. Inhale, meet me back up in center. Palms come back alongside the hips. Heels are close in toward the hips, coming again to bridge pose. On your next inhale, press strongly through the feet, lift the hips up toward the sky. Gaze can be up toward the sky. Maybe it's in toward your belly, noticing how it expands as you breathe in and shrinks as you breathe out. Your next inhale, you can press a little bit higher, maybe walking one shoulder under and then the other, opening through the chest. Option to interlace the fingers underneath the glutes, underneath the body, even opening through the shoulders a little bit more. One more breath in. Exhale, slowly release the hands, unwind, roll one vertebrae at a time all the way down to your back. Open the arms to a T or to cactus. And again, drop the knees to one side, gaze opposite. Go with your own breath. Inhaling through center, exhaling as you drop down. And you feel a little release in the spine. Inhale, meet me back up in center. And draw the knees in toward the chest. You can grasp opposite hands, wrists, or elbows, or simply place the hands in the fronts of the shins and squeeze in. Getting a nice stretch in the back of the body, especially the low back. You can even give yourself a gentle rock side to side, massaging along the spine. Your next inhale, stretch the feet up toward the sky. And exhale, bend the knees in toward the armpits to 90 degrees and legs. Hands come onto the pinky edges of the feet for happy baby. You can also use your peace fingers and thumb to wrap around the big toes. That feels good. Low back flattens into the earth as you have this nice opening through the groin, through the pelvis, through the inner thighs. Again, you can rock side to side if it feels good. You can experiment with straightening one leg at a time. Maybe you try straightening both legs. One more inhale. Exhale, gently release the feet to the floor and then slowly make your way all the way to Shavasana. Stretch the legs long. Allow the toes to just gently turn out to the sides. Arms rest alongside your body. Take your time to settle in, get out any last minute adjustments or fidgeting as you settle into stillness. Allow your eyes to come closed, lips come closed. You can feel the muscles across your forehead, cheeks, and temples gently release. Your jaw softens. Shoulders are open and heavy into the floor. Arms are relaxed and long. Hips feel relaxed and soft. Legs are heavy and long. You can just feel your belly gently rise and fall with each breath in and each breath out. And if you notice your thoughts wandering in this pose, that's okay. That's what our brains are designed to do, after all. You also have that beautiful ability to release, to notice the thoughts come and invite them to go. And remind yourself that you're just here right now. You're doing exactly what you need to do, which is nothing, just being and breathing. Your next inhale, invite an extra long, deep breath in. Notice how the belly and chest expand. Feel that prana, that life force flooding into the body. Begin to give your toes a little wiggle and ankles. And then your fingers and your hands. Interlace the fingers and stretch the arms up overhead. Maybe you did a nice big good morning stretch and yawn. And slowly make your way up to a comfortable seat. You can roll over to one side or roll up and down the spine. Take whatever way feels better for you. Take your time getting there. If you can, if it feels comfortable, keep the eyes closed. Once you reach that comfortable seat, draw the hands into the body, over the heart or the womb or both. Just practice a moment of gratitude for yourself, for showing up, for being present, for learning, for connecting, for accepting and loving yourself. It's truly a gift to be able to do that. When you're ready, you can gently blink open the eyes. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste, Rose. Thank you for practicing with me.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
Good. That was